I'm not leaving. I'm not fucking leaving! The show goes on! This is my home!
I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Say hello to my little friend! It's a man, baby! Fuck you, retard!
Oh, behave. Yeah. Why so serious?
If you only knew the power of the dark side.
I am Iron Man.
I love it when a plan comes together.
It's the world-renowned Man Show. I'm Cav Manning, along with the other man, Mr. Billy Body.
Hey.
So what's happening after this lovely week of gambling?
Well, we took a week off, as people might have noticed, because you was away on holiday.
Yeah.
And I don't even know what happened with the NFL last week. I started really well on Sunday.
Yeah.
And then the who fucked me? The Patriots fucked me by half a point.
I think all the spreads were nobody covered their spread. All the points practically won. That was the problem because I had two wrong in my pick'ems, but that was not against any spreads. So when I did the gambling, it was everybody was beating everybody by a fucking point with a spread.
It was a good week just to do a parlay about points. That was it. But the thing is
it would have been.
The points fucked me so bad. It was like it started with Houston winning by 3 when I had 3.5. Mm-hmm. So I should have taken that down. The Patriots have got a good number because everybody started to bet Dallas, and I had them at 4.5, and they won by 4.
Oh God!
And then on the last day, I was down a couple of units, and I figured I'd just win them back on this game. On the last game, I was going to have 2 units on Ravens because I really liked them. Mm-hmm. And then I ended up splitting it between the under and the Ravens for no reason at all. Just because I figured Ravens might stop because they got other games coming up. They might stop scoring because I thought Rams would score between 10 and 14. I just didn't think they could score at all.
Sure.
And I thought their teams would be running it a lot as well because Goff looked so shit. But then it only went over the total by 4, or by 3.5 points. So when they were butt fucking them at the end, and then they had 3rd and 12. It was 3rd and goal, but they had 12 yards to go. And it was if that just turned into a field goal, then you cover it, right? Because after that they took Jackson off anyway. But no, he still had to make the final touchdown at the end.
5 touchdowns for Jackson.
Yeah, it's just fucking bad luck. I mean, even the people, even my clients, just acknowledging some fucking terrible luck we've had. But the thing is that we pushed the whole fucking year into profit because we picked 9. We had 9 winners in a row. So
yeah,
and then if you go back and listen to the shows for the last, obviously there wasn't one last week, but the 2 weeks before, we did pretty much get nearly everything right. I think we would have been close to 80% over those 2 weeks. It just seemed to click in, and sometimes it does that in the NFL. Just click in, and you're getting everything for a couple of weeks.
I need one of these giant parlays to come through for me because I always do I do the crazy ones 6 to 9 games on one parlay, just hoping for that monster because you could put down $5 and win 1,000. So it's worth just saying who gives a fuck and giving it a shot. It's the ones that are why would I bet $5 to win $4? That kind of shit. But for that, I had a bad one last week, like I was saying, because everybody was not covering their spreads, and so the last game of the week, or whatever I had left in my account on the gambling account, I just threw it all on Baltimore because I was that confident. I'm it's only 3.5 or whatever. I'm Baltimore whooped them, and then I'm seeing these quote unquote experts. and they're like, take the 3.5. Everybody's starting with the 3.5. They're gonna fucking win. The Rams are gonna fucking get. And I'm like, I start to get nervous. And I'm like, oh my God, is this really gonna, be something? And are they gonna? What do they know that I don't know? I figure they know better than me. And then it's a butt fucking, and I'm like, yeah, these are some experts. And I see one of these experts that I follow, and he replies like to the little group that he gives the information to. Oh, sorry, terrible weekend. I'm like, this slob. So I've asked this guy, where's your spreadsheet? I've asked him multiple times now. I get no reply.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing. I'm like, I'm soon to get kicked out of the group because I feel like I'm going to be really starting to hound him soon, giving him shit. Being like, where the hell is your spreadsheet for your shit picks? And that's when I'm going to get kicked out.
Yeah, you got to push these people. I mean, they should be automatically like putting it forward anyway. Like I do it every single month.
Yeah.
And like if somebody asks me for it, like, how are we doing this month or whatever, or I can deliver it on the spot. It's just like you need it, like not only to because people are entitled to it, but also to deliver to get more people in the future. Like in terms of like I have it all up on my Patreon page, so that people can see it throughout. But
yeah,
I just don't
transparency and responsible for what you pick.
Yeah, exactly. Like I like to set up like a community where if you want to sign up, and say for example with this dude, right?
I think he did it was 8 units he said on that too. So someone's throwing down $800 for that. Oh my God.
Yeah, it's a joke, man.
Yeah.
It's just overdoing it because they're not doing it themselves.
That's the thing. That's the proper gambler. Show what you bet, and then I'll bet with you. Don't go ahead. It's like, yeah, that's risky, but I wouldn't bet it. No, you bet your tip, and then I'll join in.
Yeah, and that's why I keep my plays to like 1 or 2 units max, and when it's 2 units, I'm like really sure.
And you've showed me multiple times your betting slip too.
Yeah, and see, and that's the thing. Like it's with what I set up. Why the reason I use Patreon as opposed to, and that involves giving up 4% of my money every month, which is 4% of $3,000 is a lot of money, and the reason that actually. Yeah, no, it is a lot of money. I just, for a second there, I thought it wasn't. The reason I do it that way is simply because the Patreon is a community site. So if I'm joining a site and I've only got like correspondence with the person selling it to me, then that doesn't convince me, as opposed to me posting the things onto Patreon and 50 guys can make like a comment at the bottom. Mm-hmm. So if I come out and put a post, put amazing week, like 9-0 in the NFL, it only takes one person to turn around and go, "Oh, you lost. What about that one you lost in, Thursday night football or whatever?" And then it's like you're fucked. And then I put myself in a position to be fucked because I cannot lie in this situation. So, but then that's beneficial to everyone coming on board. And the thing is, unless you have your setup like that, even these guys at Doc Sports who do these videos, like there's this guy called like Tony George. And he's on there. You do his videos. He's so good, like his videos, not in terms of the picks, but in terms of breaking it down. And then he comes on and goes, I tell it like it is. That was a terrible day for us on Sunday. He goes, but we'll bounce back. Mm-hmm. And he's always like, it's a rare bad day, but when it's a bad day, I say it's a bad day. So I started following him on Twitter, and he was there, and he's like, "Oh, told you we'd bounce back, 7-unit winner." And then someone put, "Yeah, well, that means we're only 144 units down in the NFL this year." So he lost $14,000 so far this season. And he's like the number one guy, like at Docs. And the thing is, he comes on and he talks about the wins, and he talks about like losses, but he says, "Oh, that we had a bad weekend or whatever." But what he wasn't telling you is that he went like 1-6, and 1-6 for him would mean that, like, seeing as these guys, they just chuck out things like 4 units, 5-unit plays all the time. That means like for every play that he won, and then obviously the winning plays cancelled out by 1 losing play, but the 5 extra plays is like a minimum of like 25 units, which is $2,500 per weekend that he's been losing. Like when he goes on runs like that. So I just thought it was funny, like, because I figured, this guy's been talking a lot about. He's been talking about a lot of wins, but he's also been coming on a lot of weeks and saying we had a bad weekend or that was a bad play or whatever. So I figured he was like just scraping the barrel of profit, like me. But he's actually 144 units down. That's fucking. That's why you just can't give out these picks. They're not realistic. I don't know who's betting this shit. I don't know when they're turning around and going, oh, this is a 3. This is only a 3 unit. This is a 4 unit. Like, I know that guy you use when he comes out and he goes, and the things that when he likes an underdog, he goes, oh, we'll just do a small 5 unit play, like $500. Yeah. And then when he loves it, he's like, goes, yeah, we're gonna go in for like 9 units. Like, yeah, $900, right? Mm-hmm. You yourself, a Twitter gambler, is selling is betting $900. And then when he does 3 plays at a time, it's like, what, you're telling me you laid down $3,000 this weekend? Bullshit. I mean, they're not doing
their
it.
Business. I mean, that's their business, and that's what they do for a living, I would assume. Yeah,
but nobody's betting $3,000 a weekend. Oh. Like, you'd need a sports person's salary to do it. Like, you wouldn't bet your even if you're on a great salary, right?
Yeah.
Like, that would still be 2 weeks income bet in one day.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a little rough. I couldn't imagine. When I've done $50, I wanted to hang myself. I'm like, oh my
$6,000 $6,000 a month in the States is a really good salary, right?
$6,000 a month?
Yeah.
Not really. No.
$6,000 a month is not a good salary.
No, not over here.
72,000. Oh, not in California. Not in like
San. Here, no. You got to get They were saying like you got to at least get $132,000 a year to live here. It's ridiculous. So I mean, hell, I'm close to that number. So, and that ain't that great.
Yes, how much you make living there?
Say that again.
Well, you make over $100,000 a year living.
No, I don't know, but I'm close to that first figure you were saying. I'm like,
what, 72?
Yeah, I mean, one check this month is coming that's over 5,000 by itself. So yeah, that's
all right. Well, let's say change that. Okay, so let's say you make fucking $12,000.
Yeah,
$12,000 a month, right?
Sure.
Okay, which is $144,000 a year. Okay, that's probably close to what Nick's wife makes, and she's a eye doctor, right? Maybe she probably makes a little bit more. But the point is that are you going to spend your whole week's salary betting on the weekend games in the NFL?
You know what? The only
way, 3 games.
Yeah, the only way to do that is if you stockpile. And then you go, I'm going to have one crazy weekend. You couldn't do anything otherwise.
Can you imagine that conversation? Like, hey, what do you do for a living, Bob? What do you do for a living, Bob? Yeah, like what I do for a living is that I work all week so I can bet on the NFL.
Oh God!
I work 40 hours. I work 40 hours, and then I spend my salary on betting on the NFL at the weekend. And sometimes I double it, but then sometimes I lose it for the whole. Lose it, and then I have
degenerate gamblers. That's for sure.
Then I have to go back to work the next week, knowing that I worked the last week for free. Yeah,
that can't. No, and I mean, I can't imagine the stress. I got stupid little bets all over the place, and I'm stressed out. Can't imagine when it's real money. Hell, I was freaked out when I did that $50, and of course,
I just smashed down some really good in plays tonight. Like I had the Raptors. When they're losing to the Knicks by 7, I took them -5. The spread's now -17 because they're winning by 20.
Oh, that's great. You know what? I bet that game tonight myself. I saw the spread was 10, and I picked the Raptors. I don't even know what the score is.
It's 46-64 to the Raptors.
Oh shit. Okay.
And then Boston have been losing all night to the Nets, and the spread at the start of the game was 8.5. So I got it down at 2.
You know, it's funny because my guy said this afternoon. He goes, "Oh, the Raptors are going to win by 20 tonight," and I was like, I picked up the phone. I go, "All right."
Yeah, well, I mean, my clients have it at 9. My clients have it at 9 as a 1-unit play because the average score between the two teams last year was the Raptors winning by 21 points.
But that thing is that's with the MVP of the world, Kawhi. So now people.
Yeah,
think,
but they've got
they're
a
still
better
good.
defense. They got a better defense this year than last year.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. It's like they're still a good team. They're still a playoff team. All that stuff. So
So the only game that's fucking me is I took Cleveland at home to the Magic.
Oh, see, yeah, this guy. I don't know. I guess he's hit and miss with basketball. I don't really pay attention half the time to this asshole that we listen to at times. So
no, I'm having a good basketball season at the moment. If I go, my goal is to go 3-1 with my next 4 plays, and then I'm at 20-10 for the season, which I'm always like, I always aim to go 2-1, like 2-1, 2-1, 2-1. Like I think that's fine to pick up money as you go. It's I don't even think that's grinding. I think that's just a really good percentage. It's like 67%.
I wanted to do some prop bets, but on my site that I go to, they don't do that. And I wanted to do that Chicago would score a defensive touchdown this week. Because I bet you there'd be good odds on that.
Oh, my God. Last week, some guy, Cousin Sal, his bet of the week, like, something. He didn't pick a spread. He just picked, like, James Winston to throw an interception. And he threw an interception on his first possession. No like shit. He won the bet immediately.
Oh, man. See, I need those prop bets. That'd be more fun for me. I would.
I looked at it and thought, like, if this guy's throwing so many interceptions, he surely looks at himself and thinks, I can't. Like, I'm becoming like a joke statistic at this point. Mm-hmm. So I figured, like, the week where somebody who's quite a well-known person for sports betting turns around and says, my main bet of the week, I'm not going to take a spread. I'm not going to take an over-under. I'm going to take a dude to throw an interception as my main bet. Like, this got to be aware of that. And then he throws an interception anyway with his first possession.
Funny. Jesus. Do you want to go over picks this week and then we can get out of here?
Yeah, we won't do any of the other stuff. What the fuck is happening to this Bears spread? In the last hour.
Oh, really?
Right? It was like it got to 4. And then I said to my clients, was like, shit, this game's at 4. Like, we're going to have to, I'm thinking about buying it down to 2. Yeah. Then it went to 4.5. Then it went to 5. And then it went to 5.5. Like, people are betting it. Right. There's definitely some information that's come out in the last hour.
Well, I told you the information a day ago. They're going to put that third string quarterback in. I got it when it was at 2.5. And I was so lucky. I was like, I'm like 2.5, and I was still nervous because I think they could lose. And I'm like, I go 2.5, and then they're talking, oh yeah, that quarterback might not go. He didn't practice again, and it's gonna be, the other guy practiced with the first team, and I'm like, he's gonna play. Nobody's gonna play, and because I'm like, soon as that happens, it's gonna be at 7, and then you're really like, okay, do they win by more than 7, which is very rough for that team. So I was like, that's when I texted you, and I was like, what's your line at? Because I wanted to give you the heads up. Like, grab it while you can and put whatever you can on it.
I never had it at 2, but I had it at 3.
Okay, good.
I fucking missed it now. I don't even know.
Well, what's it at right now? What's it stuck at?
Oh, it's just boomed off. It's like 5.5. I'm hoping there's a bookie that got.
It's gonna go.
I'm hoping there's a bookie that got left behind. That's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah, it'll go. I'm picking the Bears with my -2.5. The Lions are a wreck. So you got them at 3 at least. So you're taking the Bears.
No, I didn't bet it at 3.
Oh, I didn't.
No, I didn't think they would. I thought they'd already. See, I didn't understand what you were saying to me. I already thought that they moved it. Do you know what? To be honest with you, it is mostly at 4.5. I mean, there are a lot of places that haven't caught up, and I'm looking at.
I'm like, they're not going to win by 1 point. They're going to win by a field goal at the worst. So I'm like, 2.5 is fine because I can't imagine that they should be shot if they barely, against a guy who's never played. So I'm like, all right, that should be, for sure. Because I did a little parlay with Bears, Cowboys, Saints. I think that was my parlay. The Cowboys scare me though, covering. Because isn't it like, what's it at? What's the point spread for Cowboys now?
6.5.
Yeah, and I was like, I just try to always convince myself. I go, gotta win by a touchdown, right? You're at home after this Jerry Jones fiasco, and he's going to fire everybody and shit like that. Because if they lose this game, coaches are fired the next day. Garrett's gone on Friday, if that's the case.
But the thing is that they're in pole position in their division. So
yeah, I mean that's the thing though, is like they should be better than they are, and they're not. So it's that coach. He's just had him there because he's a yes man for so long. They need a real coach. I picked Cowboys to win this game though. What do you say?
yeah, I mean, I think they usually do win on Thanksgiving. I don't know.
Well, I mean, it depends who they're playing and how good they are. But they're a good team. They shouldn't be as miserable as they are.
Well, I mean, last
Bears
week
play them next week.
I mean, last week that Patriots game, like they had chances to win that game.
Yeah, totally. Patriots
I
don't,
don't-
they barely lost the game.
I don't know why you're kicking a field goal when it's one of the first times you've got into that close to their to their territory at that point. I don't know why you're kicking a field goal. That's just bad coach. And the thing is, did you see what fucked me on the spread on the Patriots game where they didn't kick the field goal in the last 2 seconds?
Oh no.
They were there, so they just
sat
needed
on
to kick a field goal. No, they didn't sit on it either. They threw it because they couldn't sit on it.
that Hail Mary looking thing to try to
Yeah.
kill the clock, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's I mean, when you come down to it, it's better that they actually were doing what they were doing, because you could block a field goal and it could be ran back the other way. I mean, all hell could break loose. So, smart on what they did for real life. Saints and Falcons. I think the Saints are going to be looking for blood from the last time they played each other.
Yeah, this is my lock for the week because it hasn't moved like this one. It's still under 7, so 6.5. So
yeah, that's gotta be. I'm like, okay, now hopefully I get the whole that parlay there, and that'll help. Game of the week, which I think is game of the week, obviously could be a Super Bowl preview. 49ers versus the Ravens. And it is the spread like 3.5?
This was a Super Bowl once.
It was, and
Recently, like 2000,
Kaepernick fucked it up.
2013, I think.
He didn't run it in. He wanted to be the passing champion. He wanted to throw a touchdown to win the Super Bowl. It was wide.
Oh.
He could have just ran. He was at like the 5-yard line.
Oh, he's a fucking idiot. Like that public workout thing that he fucked up. Like I don't think he there's some guy even said it. He said he doesn't. Some black guy as well. He said he doesn't want to play. He said he just wants to. He wants to be the martyr now.
Oh really?
The Ravens are 6-point favorites in this game.
Only 6. That's by 6. Well, that's. I mean, it's very possible the 49ers win this, for God's sake. So I mean, but it's watching these games that Lamar Jackson's running around. It's how the hell did they ever lose?
I had Green Bay as a 1.5 unit play with 3.5 points last week.
Oh, I put money on them too. I was like, that was like a lock, And
I honestly thought they would win. Like the way 49ers looked the last 2 weeks, they're losing to the Seattle and then
barely
losing to Arizona.
barely beating Arizona.
No, sorry, barely. Oh yeah, barely covering. Barely winning, and then they were three down, and then they got the cover with that
bullshit
fixed play.
Yeah, exactly. I was pissed. But
the way they looked,
they just kill. I mean, it was like I don't know. I haven't heard what Roger said about it, or like uh-oh. I mean, it was one of those where it was, well, I guess you're not a contender. It was that bad of time to wake up and stop believing you're as great as you think. And it was that much of a. He was just smothered. That line was like nothing, and I was thinking he was going to get hurt. I really thought he was going to fucking snap something because they were like 10 to him at the same time, and ball falling out, and he's laying on the floor like a fucking dead man. I'm like, holy fuck.
I'd say the worst thing is they didn't. I had the over 47 points, and it's 45, and neither of them bothered playing the last half of the fourth quarter.
Jesus. Redskins going into the Panthers. This is pretty funny that Haskins didn't take the final knee because they couldn't find him last week. Talk about never playing before in your life and getting a win and not knowing how to do it. because he goes and takes selfies with the fans, and so Kirk or Case Keenum had to go out there and take a fucking knee. How embarrassing!
Yeah, I didn't see
hear
any of
about
that.
This is
I wasn't-
they
I
couldn't
wasn't-
find him. The game was still on, but Hastings is running around celebrating that they won the game, and the game's not over, and they couldn't find him. I'm like, oh my god! So he was busy taking
I wasn't
selfies.
paying
I'm like, oh.
particular attention to Washington and Detroit, but
Yeah. I'm picking the Panthers to win this game. What's the point spread with this?
10.
Ooh. I would have a hard time betting this game, though.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of points, man. You know?
It is because the Panthers are done now. So.
Yeah, they do. They look like they're done. I mean, hell, they would have won the other game if they could kick a field goal. They would have beat the Saints. Saints don't look that great either, and I'm like, they need to wake up a little bit. So hopefully they come
they need
up.
to look. They need to look good this week, I think.
And then they're playing the 49ers next week. This is that stretch, you know.
The Atlanta revival is over for 2. It lasted 2 games. They look like a Super Bowl team.
No shit,
And-
right? And I picked. I had the Bucks last week. I was like, yeah, I'm not buying this Atlanta bullshit.
What is it with this game though, Cav? Like in terms of them they played it 2 weeks ago and then they play it again, like now. Like what kind of scheduling is that?
Which one? Oh, well, yeah. You know what? I've seen that because you know what? That's Bears in Detroit are pretty much like that. I think there was 2 weeks in between when they played because it was Lions, Rams, Giants, Lions. So that was pretty soon. And also the
Pittsburgh,
other one,
Cleveland?
Pittsburgh, Cleveland. It was just the other week. So I'm like, I'm looking forward to watching that game. I want to see what happens with that fake fucking, he said racial things. Bullshit. I don't buy that for a minute. And
That is the go-to excuse.
Oh, yeah. And the thing is, that was supposed to be a private meeting, but it got leaked. So that tells you one thing, like, oh, I didn't know this was going to fucking get out there. So he could say whatever he wanted. And every player's like, I've never heard a fucking word from this guy that he's anything racist. And I'm like, he plays with fucking 95% of the players are black. You think he's out there yelling nignog during this kind of shit? And he's on the pile, doesn't know who's around him, and he's yelling nig? You got to be fucking kidding me.
Brady does. We know we've seen that video. We know Brady does when he was like when he went up to the old Baltimore guy and went, "Oh, hey, my nigga."
When was it? I never saw this video.
Oh, I have it somewhere.
Oh, you got
Hold
to send
on.
that to me. I won't be able to watch it while I'm on with you, but
No, you might be able to.
Well, I don't know. It's on. You're on my phone, and if you're sending it to my phone, I got you plugged in. I don't know if it'll play. Well, maybe it'll play over the phone for everybody to hear. I could do that. I was very proud of myself. I picked the Jets last week over the Raiders and got that, and everyone thought I was insane, but I said, West Coast going east. Don't do it. So the Jets this week are playing the Bengals. You ready for this one for me?
All right, man.
I'm picking the Bengals to win this.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I think this is finally going to – they got Dalton playing again, and I think that he finally gets – finally they get a win. I think the Jets are, jerking off that they won last week, and they're going to get bit.
Oh, yeah, Pittsburgh Cleveland's on Sunday.
Yeah, that's all. All these games are Sunday except for the first three.
No.
Here we go. Here's Brady. I didn't hear it. Let me see.
He just says it right at the start. It's like, hey, nigga, you know you're my
He
kryptonite.
said, "Oh man," I thought. Listen.
Yeah.
Oh, you know you're my kryptonite, nigga. I think that's what I meant.
Right. I think he says it twice.
You know what? He probably doesn't say that, but it sounds like.
No, I think he could probably get away with saying that because he's been playing with black guys his whole life.
Underneath. What does it say? The words. Hold on. Let's see.
Oh yeah, the
You
words
know you're
don't
my
count.
kryptonite, and they've got to bring you back. They got to bring you here. What the fuck are they talking about? Let's see one more time. Oh, he don't say that shit. You know, he would have been fucking exiled if he fucking said that shit. It sure as fuck does sound like it.
I think it's just a camaraderie thing. So it's not racist, is it?
No, not. I mean, in real life, if you're with your friends, sure, it's fine. If he did that in here, the world would have fucking ended. I promise you, they would have fucking strung his ass up if he fucking actually said that. That's why it's like shocking that like Vince got away with it saying "What's up, my nigga" to fucking Booker T. Okay, so you taking the Jets or the Bengals in this one?
Do
I make a good case for it? Watch. The Jets will fucking kill him now, but.
Yeah, I mean, I could take the 3.5 here, or it's going to be 4 soon.
They've played tough every once in a while, and it's like they're that close, and then they lose at the end. So I'm like, this is the Jets, you know? I'm like, it's very possible they beat the piss out of the Jets, and they're at home. If they're ever going to get a win, this is now is the time.
Yeah, I don't know the rest of their schedule, but I wouldn't be surprised if they go 0-16.
They play the Browns next. And then they play. Oh, here it is. They play the Dolphins week 16.
Yeah.
However, the Dolphins don't look terrible. And then the last game of the year, they play the Browns again. So it's this one in Miami. Those are the 2 games they have to be able to win this. Otherwise, they're not going to win shit. Titans going into the Colts. Look at the Titans. And look at fucking Tannehill. He's a fucking. Who is this guy? What the fuck is this? Maybe it's the system. And you know what? I'm starting to think a little bit of the Mitch problem is that system he is in, because he starts to do like he enjoys a rollout. He needs to be running out of the pocket. He's not a pocket passer. He likes to roll out. And they asked him this week in press conference, "Hey, how come you guys can't do that more?" And he goes, because he was saying how much he enjoyed it. And then all of a sudden, like, I guess the coach and them got to him, because the next day he sounded like a robot, and he was like, we just do whatever the coach scripts and puts in the game, and I'll do whatever he wants. It was like, oh boy, is the coach just saying, fuck you, you're doing what I fucking tell you to do. It's like, get your ego out of here and adjust. Because I think if Lamar Jackson was on the Bears, he'd be shit, because the coach doesn't adjust. Harbaugh has completely adjusted his whole entire game plan to have plays that accommodate Lamar Jackson. That's a good coach. You know, you got to adjust to what you got. The Titans are going into the Colts. I think the Colts finally actually stopped this Titan brigade because they're at home. And I think it's just due for the Titans to look human.
Yeah, Colts at home in divisional games. Normally. So yeah, I think they'll win this as well.
The Buccaneers going into the Jagoffs. I do not trust Seamus Winston. I like to call him Seamus every time. And I think Foles finally fucking gets a win, which is interesting because I'm like, oh boy, they spent all that money and I got Pikachu back there with the mustache. They should put him back in. But I'll pick the Jaguars to win this over the Bucs.
Yeah, the Jags are 1 point underdogs here.
Wow. Yeah, then totally. This is one of those go for it games for me. And you know what? I mean, it's not like they're great. You know, like it's like, oh, they're a great team. They should be winning. But I would almost think this is a lock. They're at home too, over the Bucs.
Yeah.
I just don't trust that fucking Seamus. The Raiders going into the Chiefs. You know what? The Raiders were looking ahead last week. That's the problem. And that's why they lost to the Jets. So I would say the Chiefs are going to punch them right in the fucking face this next week, too.
They have to cover 10 points.
By 10. I might take Raiders with points then.
Yeah.
That's rough. They've been a good team, and it's not like they were always like they were last week. So
I'd probably sit off this. I don't like
Yeah.
taking points when I think the team is going to lose outright.
You know what?
So
You're the same as me then, because I always think that's my downfall. I never pick a team to cover but lose. That's too scary for me. I'm like, I rather think that a team will blow somebody out than another team getting close and losing. I just can't bet that way. It's hard for me.
Yeah, I'm more comfortable. Yeah, with the I think they're going to fuck them kind of bet.
Yes.
I mean, I'd rather take like 16, a team to win by 16 than a team getting 16.
Yeah.
Because
yes.
for me, it's like, imagine you score in your first 2 possessions, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you're pretty much almost done. Like from that point, you're playing the game. You're playing like the next 45 minutes at 0-0.
Mm-hmm.
So then, what's the spread worth then? 3 points, 2 points? Like
Yeah.
the problem is that a lot of these teams now, especially at this time of the season, they take their fucking starters off. With a quarter to go.
They're starting to get to that point. The Eagles are going into the Dolphins. I guess the Eagles are getting a couple of their injured guys back because their receiving core is dog shit, but their Eagles are still a way better team than the Dolphins. I'm guessing this spread is 7 in favor of the Eagles.
No, it's stupid. It's like 10.
Oh. Now that scares me. I wouldn't touch that either. When I get to those double digits, it's rough.
You know what's weird? There's a lot of stayaways here, and like most of the stuff I like is on Thursday. And the thing is that when you got to be careful here, because when you put this out to clients, and if it ends up being a bad day, for example, like for example, like say we get them all wrong. Let's just say we get them all wrong.
Mm-hmm.
They will think that you put this out because it was a marketable day where people wanted to bet and you were trying to sort of carry favor. And it's like, for me, actually, I look at it, and apart from that Dallas game, I really fancy the other 2. I fancy like 3 plays tomorrow in terms of obviously the Bears, the spread. I would have liked it a couple of points back, but I might need to buy it down. The under, obviously, because neither of the quarterbacks can score. I mean, the only way the Bears don't cover the spread is if Trubisky can't score 2 touchdowns. And so 37, even though the low total is a lot.
On the radio in Chicago, they've been starting to call the Bears the teenagers. And I'm like, why do you think that is? Do you have any idea why that is?
Because they can't get to 13.
They can't get out of the teens. They can't
Right.
get to 20. Like, it's true. They can't get into the 20s. Oh, my God. The Packers.
But yeah, I mean,
Go ahead.
a lot of the stuff I like is on Sunday, and I just don't like much in this whole,
You mean on
this long
Thursday.
Sunday schedule. Yeah.
The Packers got the Giants. I would say the Packers got to be favored by 10 in this.
No, we're only favored by 6.5 because we got butt fucked last week.
Oh, I would jump on this like in a fucking. Oh, fucking do it right now while you can. This is going to be. They need to make a statement, and Detroit has like the 32nd or the 31st worst defense. Rodgers is gonna fucking be firing all over.
I was going to go to this game until WWE confirmed that they were at Madison Square Garden on the Boxing Day.
Oh shit!
So I couldn't go.
You're better off to go to the fucking game. You're out of your fucking mind. Why would you go to that fucking garbage?
Oh, because I was thinking about what to do with Austin for Christmas. So
you know what? I'm going on my site this minute to bet that fucking game, and I'm gonna see. Let's see how many what the point spread is for me on here. Yeah, 6.5. I will pick Green Bay, and I will put all my fucking money on that. That's fucking crazy. I can't even believe that's the fucking points. Place my bet. Thank you. 6.5. Fucking.
there is like honestly a situation where Green Bay and New Orleans both cover their 6.5 spreads by 20.
It very much so. I'm like, if they fucking win this under 6.5 points, they're in big fucking trouble. Even if they win, they're in big fucking trouble because what the fuck is that? That's garbage. There's no fucking way. And that Danny Dimes doesn't look fucking good anymore. And plus with the Green Bay defense, they have to make a point now because they got raped. So they got a butt fuck. They really have to. So that's crazy to me. The Rams are going into the Cardinals. I'm taking the fucking Cardinals to win this game. Cardinals are coming up. Piece by piece, they're looking better and better. I think they're going to be good in like 2 years. The Rams just look like dog shit, and their quarterback looks fucking awful. The Rams are fucked for years to come now. They have a lot of money put in fucking guys that aren't working. Their quarterback makes the most money in the fucking league next year, and Gurley makes a fucking ton, who isn't as good as he was before. I mean, I won't be surprised the Rams win this against the Cardinals because they're still coming up, the Cardinals, but I'm taking the Cardinals to fucking win.
Yeah, I agree with you, actually. That's why I laughed, because I don't think the Rams are making the playoffs. And
No, not even close.
I think the Cardinals could make it next year. But yeah, I
think
agree.
The playoff picture is what we already see. It's going to be... Because I don't think Seattle's going to catch the 49ers. Well, you know what? It's very possible because the 49ers have a tough schedule coming up. And the Seahawks got to play them again, too, in Seattle. So it's very possible that switches spots. But the 6 teams, those are the ones getting in. It's not going to change. Nobody's going to... the Vikings are getting in as the second tier as well. And it's either the Niners or the Seahawks. And we know the Eagles aren't catching Dallas either. Let's see. The Chargers going into the Broncos. Except for last week, the Broncos started looking really good. And the Chargers started to... Chargers are so up and down. And Phillip Rivers doesn't look fucking good. I kind of changed my mind about wanting him next year. I'm picking the Broncos to win the game.
Yeah, I agree with that one as well. Even though they're getting 3 points, and they're going to be getting 3.5 soon. So
yeah, that's even better. Take those points where you can. The Browns going into the Steelers. This is going to be. I bet you there's a lot of fucking penalties in this game, and there's going to be a lot of shit going on, which will be very interesting. I think they start. I don't know if they're starting Rudolph or not. Which I hope they do, because, I mean, that's the whole thing. You would think he would want kind of revenge and light them up, but he's been sucking. But I'm taking the Browns. The Browns are looking like they're fucking rolling a little bit.
This is tough because I actually think that I just think they'll be a massively motivated team to win this.
Well, Steelers?
Yeah.
I mean, they both need to keep winning. That's the thing. So, yeah, I mean, of all people to be motivated, it should be the Steelers. I mean, they were the ones on the receiving end of the butt fucking.
Yeah.
But, yeah, what's the spread?
3.
And who's it for even? It's favors Steelers?
No, it favors Browns.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, I could see it favoring either one easily, you know?
No, I just feel like the Steelers need to win, not just need to win this game. I just feel like that this is going to be a real hostile crowd. And also,
yeah, it's going to be hostile for sure.
Their main defender is gone for what he did. So, I mean, it's going to make it different. Last week, they conceded a lot of points to the Dolphins. Last week, I think it was 38-24 in the end.
There was a tweet that went out by Jose Canseco. Happy Thanksgiving Eve to A-Rod and his family. P.S. A-Rod, you're still a jerk. P.S. Happy Thanksgiving also to Jennifer Lopez. What the fuck? I have no idea what that fucking has to do with anything. Let's see. Let's see what's next here. Patriots going into the Texans. This should be a game. I'm actually picking the Texans. They're at home.
Oh god, we've got all the same picks.
Yeah, I'm like, Tom has not looked fucking wonderful. I really find it hard to think that the Patriots will actually win this.
No, I think these are the type of road games when they go to Baltimore and these teams that can run on them and have like mobile quarterbacks. It's like Watson was supposed to be what Jackson is now.
Yeah.
He's not been as good, but I still think he might be good enough to cover 3.5 points there and maybe even win outright.
Yeah, I'm thinking win outright. I just think they'll win the fucking game. Monday night.
This total's too high. It's way too high.
Oh, really?
By the way, it's 45 points. And Patriots haven't been putting up a lot of points lately at all.
Yeah, that might be
these high totals. Yeah, I mean, it was 45 last week against Dallas as well. They ended up having, I believe, if I remember, it was 22 points in that game.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, they didn't even get halfway there. I don't see how this is going to be any different. It's going to be a very similar game.
Monday night, we got the Vikings going into the Seahawks, which is another really good game, actually. I would pick the Seahawks. Seahawks are at home. If they were in Minnesota, I might actually pick Minnesota, but I'll take the Seahawks, and I assume they're probably favored by 3 or 3.5.
Just 2.5.
That might be worth doing, because if they win, I can't imagine it's only by fucking 2.
No, it would be pretty unlucky to do that.
Yeah.
The Raptors are up by 24.
I was looking at that, actually, just a little bit by 24. Jesus Christ. Because before it was getting a little close, and then, well, never mind that. So, all right. Where can they find us, Billy? Because they're hearing the simulcast right now. They're listening to us either on the Dirty Sheets or on at the Man Show podcast.
Yeah.
Where do they go for just the Man Show podcast?
The Man Show podcast. They go to.
You could type in Google. You could type in Man Show. Yeah, the Man Show podcast. Boom.
The Man Show podcast on iTunes, or you can type it in on Google. Just put the Man Show. We won't be doing it. We won't be simulcasting it forever.
Yeah.
But temporarily we still are. But
trying to get people to go over there and subscribe, because soon you're gonna be like, oh, where's the Man Show? It'll be like, motherfucker, we've told you for weeks. Go to the Man Show podcast and sign up.
Well, if you're on the wrestling feed, you're probably just wondering where all the shows are all together. So
yeah, nobody cares about wrestling. Which, by the way, I haven't watched anything this fucking week still. I'm like, I got no time for it at this point. And I'm like, I would like to see War Games more than anything else. I'm more interested in that.
Yeah, as long as if you don't know the results, it does. You know, it's one of those pay-per-views where if you don't know the results, it's much better. Like especially the women's one.
I saw the finish of the guys. I saw that end. It's hard to miss that. That's everywhere.
Okay, but do you know the result of the women's one?
Mm-mm.
Oh, good. Because if you knew the result, it would ruin the whole match.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm surprised I haven't, because it's not like I'm secretly avoiding. I'm just like, whatever, and I haven't seen shit.
It would still be enjoyable as a as an individual match, but when I watched it live, it was more exciting not knowing the results.
Maybe I'll do that during Thanksgiving. I'll break out the iPad or something.
We got this fucking system now with Austin coming to stay at mine for pay-per-view, so he goes to bed early at like 7 p.m., which is like 2 hours before his bedtime.
Yeah.
And then I wake him up at midnight.
Wow.
And then he goes back to bed at 3. So like he sleeps for 5 hours, gets up for 3 hours, and goes to bed for 5 hours. So he gets the same amount of sleep.
Just cut.
But
God bless him. I mean, maybe when I was, younger, if I lived in a place like that where I had to do that kind of thing, I probably would. But
he's up for doing it. I say to him, I always go get him in his bed. I tap him a couple of times so I can, say to him, well, you didn't want to get up.
Yeah.
But he's up. He shoots up straight away. I was like, you sure you want to get up? And he just shoots out of bed straight away. Yeah. goes down, goes straight to the fridge.
Because you know how that is. Once you're asleep, someone even says, "Hey, it's time for this." You're like, "Fuck that," and you will just stay sleeping because it's the most glorious thing ever.
Oh, when you're older, yeah, you're not getting up for anything.
Fuck no, you could care less what the fuck. Somebody call. I've had women call in the middle of the night. Oh, I'm horny. Just come over. And I go, fuck this. I'm going to bed. I'm like, that's how much it changes. Well, maybe if I was never getting pussy, then you'd be like, I'm getting up. Finally got an opportunity. But you're like, when it grows on trees around you, you're like, oh, fuck this. I'm sleeping.
Oh, I haven't had pussy for months, and I'm not even fucking trying anymore.
You're out of your mind. I'm going to send you a blue chew once you finally are going to get someone. You might kill somebody then.
Oh, I'm not even trying at the moment. Like I met this girl at like the porn awards the other day, and I dropped her home because I had to go to take Austin to the WWE the next day, and I literally made no effort to get back around there and finish off. Wow. And I even started playing through the stages and bases, and it was like I told you about this girl before, where it was like where every time I took her home and was going to stay for like half an hour, and every time I was about to go, she started like fucking playing with my dick more and more.
Jesus.
So I kept putting it off for like another 15, 20 minutes each time, till it was like, I'm out of here.
Jesus Christ. I didn't fucking mind. So. All right. I'm Cav. He's Billy. We will see you next week.